kind of felt the difference to my colleagues and to my friends, that even though they suffer too and they just want to get it done, they had a purpose behind it, and they really enjoyed it also to get through this material and to solve cases. And I was just stuck in there and feeling like, okay, this is not really fulfilling me. It doesn't make me happy. I'm feeling stressed. And then I started to think, okay, do I actually want to do this every day? Like reading, writing, solving cases. And I mean, practicing law is not much going to court all the time. So it's really like you sit there on your desk and you are reading emails, you're writing other texts. So I just felt, okay, I can't imagine myself in this. It's not really what my nature is. Easier for me as a German citizen to change career, obviously. So I can't really say how it is to be in a shoe, like in shoes of an expat, how it is to change career. However, what I can say from my experience and my perspective is that I strongly believe it's always worth it to fight for something that truly makes you happy. So what helped me in this time...
Hi guys, welcome back to Onlyfacts Podcast. Thank you for joining us once again. I'm here with my co-hosts, Lorento. And
Thanks.
To my right, I have the lovely Nina. And we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic today, dilemma in choosing a career path. I think this is something that a lot of people can relate to. But before I get into that, I'll have my co-host and our lovely guest to quickly introduce themselves. So, yeah.
Well, I think everyone knows me by now. I mean, guys, welcome back to another episode. So today we're just going to go through a very delightful conversation with Nina about basically switching career from one career path to a different career path, and the struggles, the excitement, and the every sort of thing that comes up along the way of switching at that point in time. So we'll let Nina introduce herself now, so we can go on.
So yeah, I'm Nina and I'm German. I'm 20 years old and I actually come from Berlin. And I studied law in Freiburg for 5 years. And after I passed the exam, it was 2 years ago, I came back to Berlin and I'm currently working as a marketing project manager.
Oh, interesting.
I'm sorry, just before we go, did you say you're 20 years old or...
28. No, 27.
Yeah, you said 20. Yeah,
I heard 20.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
What I heard. I was like 20.
27. So
okay.
I was like, did you start studying when you were 13? Whoa.
Interesting. Yeah. I just didn't want to call her out like when she was talking. So, that was why I wanted to like.
I guess I said 28 because I'm turning 28 on Monday, actually. So I guess I had it in my head, so it kind of sounded 20.
All right.
That's so
all right.
cool.
Yeah, well, excited to be 28. Yeah.
I feel already like 28. I'm talking a lot about it, so I feel like 28.
Like 28. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on. I'm sorry, caught it in short.
Were you gonna explain something else, or were you actually done with
the introduction?
No, I was done.
He's done. Okay. I guess I waited. So I mean, let's start with why did you study law in the first place?
So after school, I actually did not know really what I want to do. So I did counseling and in this counseling, I mean, I did some tests and I talked about it. And so they kind of recommended me like doing these tests that I like should decide between business or law. And I mean, for me, I was quite good in school. So I was always a really ambitious person and I was always trying to reach like the highest qualification. So I was a little bit influenced by that he told me like, look, a lot of people are studying business. So I would recommend you to study law because law is opening you a lot of doors. And to be honest, I wasn't really thinking about what it actually meant to practice law. So I just followed it because I didn't know better by myself. So I kind of listened to the people around me, and I trusted because he was a counseling. So he was a counselor. So I just trusted him. And so I chose that path because I felt like I couldn't do anything wrong with it. I would just do it. I kind of knew, okay, I'm ambitious. I can go through it. And I mean, hopefully I like it. And so, that's actually the decision I made because I felt like I don't restrict myself if I study law.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Great for you. I mean, is anyone in your family in this sector, or is it something just because of the counseling that you went through, you decided to study law?
Actually not. Like all my family are medicine people. So my dad is a doctor, my brother is a doctor, my cousins are doctors. So it's the only thing I knew from the start that I never wanted to study medicine. But so yeah, I mean, I kind of did my own thing. So I had no one in my family know that studied law or even business studies, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's quite interesting, actually. So, are you happy with with the decision now?
I mean, I was thinking a lot about it, and I don't like to regret things that you did in life. I feel like it's always happening for a reason, and so I did not regret it that I choose this path. I mean, it was really tough. But this time I spent also in Freiburg, the people that I met, I think I always look at the bigger picture, and I feel like, yeah, even though I didn't feel maybe it wasn't the right thing, I guess I would still do the same because I did not know better. So I just try not to regret anything and just try to continue and look forward and see what I can do with it.
Okay.
So did you ever find anything interesting during your time studying law? So apart from the people, right? So I'm talking about in terms like what you were studying, and basically that was what you're going to do, you know, for your career as well, right? So did you ever find anything interesting about studying law? And, you know, maybe, you know, that might lead to some excitement being a lawyer after study.
I mean, it was interesting for me. Otherwise, I think I wouldn't have gone through it. But I think it was more the picture of being a lawyer, like honestly, also the status and like the success you can have and this picture around it. And I think people can relate if they watch a series on Netflix. Exactly. So you were kind of picturing that, I think. So I didn't really like look into the material. I didn't really think about how would it actually be to work as a lawyer. So, I mean, this topic is interesting. It still interests me. It's just that, like the way of working is maybe not the right thing for me.
Is there anything that you found like very challenging? Because I know a lot of people do talk about a lot of reading, and you spoke about how ambitious you were or you are. I feel like maybe reading and having to write a lot of notes wasn't for that challenging. What was it for you that you were like, okay, no,
So, I mean, the whole studies about you study 3 years, you take courses and everything, and then you have actually 1.5 years to study for the exam. So in these 1.5 years, you literally study every day from 8 in the morning till 6 at night for a whole 1.5 years. And it's really a lot that you have to study and you have to understand. So I guess at this time, I kind of realized, okay, this is a lot. I mean, everyone is suffering in the studies. But I kind of felt the difference to my colleagues and to my friends that even though they suffer too and they just want to get it done, they had a purpose behind it and they really enjoyed it also to get through this material and to solve cases. And I was just stuck in there and feeling like, okay, this is not really fulfilling me. It doesn't make me happy. I'm feeling stressed. And then I started to think, okay, do I actually want to do this every day? Like reading, writing, solving cases. And I mean, practicing law is not much going to court all the time. So it's really like you sit there on your desk and you are reading emails, you're writing other texts. So I just felt, okay, I can't imagine myself in this. It's not really what my nature is.
Fair enough. I mean, sometimes you do look at career paths and you're like, okay, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be nice. It's something I could see myself doing. And then once you're in it, you're just like, nah, this is just not me. So on that topic, what actually made you decide to, you did mention that you changed your career path, right? What then made you decide to go into a different, that's completely different, right? It's not the same.
So it started when I went through actually personal development, and I was asking myself a lot of questions. And so I was thinking about purpose in life and what I really want to do. And for me, it's like, I mean, doing that studies, and especially in the end, preparing for the exam, I just realized, okay, this doesn't fulfill me. I'm not happy in doing it. And so I just said, okay, I have to think now what I'm going to do. Do I really continue? Do I finish the study, pass the exam, and then continue and try to become a lawyer, even though I know right now I don't believe it's going to fulfill me. So in the end, my decision was not, I want to work in marketing. First of all, it was like, I don't want to do law. So this was the first step to really step up for myself. Say, okay, I see it. I realize it is a really strong feeling, and I can't just not look at it anymore. I have to face it, and I have to make that decision. So first of all, it was just like the decision not to continue it. I don't want to become a lawyer, so I have to stop now. But at this time, I didn't even know what else I wanted to do.
Are you enjoying it though? Like, is it something that you're like, okay, this is something I'm okay with doing currently?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, I'm working in this since January. Before I was working in a different apartment. But since I started this journey, I just realized that I made the right decision, because the joy I felt like in the start and since then, I never really felt in my studies. So even though I'm still on my journey, it's not that I'm already there where I want to be. It's like still trying to figure out where I want to go. I think it's a process and it's not easy. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that I made this choice, even though it was really hard.
I mean, I can imagine, right? So I think my another question I have as well, because I think it's always complicated when you're already deep down in a specific career path, because now you have friends, your family who know you, and you're synonymous to that specific career path or study, right? So how was it like, taking this decision? How did your family members, and your friends, how did they take these aspects of you switching from law, especially really, really late on, while you were, almost becoming a lawyer as well?
So most of the people did not understand. So, I mean, I like my close friends in uni, when they saw how I was going through it and they realized that I was not happy, they could understand. So they kind of supported me. But like the rest, if I was talking to my parents, I mean, obviously, you just see like, okay, you invested 5 years studying law, you passed the exam, you actually have a good result. Why should you stop now? Just like, why? Yeah. So, and I think the bigger problem was because my parents are actually really open and are really supporting, and they only want to be like, to see me happy. The biggest problem was that I said, I don't know what I want to do. So I guess this is the kind of thing like parents freak out about if you say I don't know what to do, because they're just like, oh no, this is not good. Yeah. So I mean, they were trying to understand and they were supporting, but it was still like talking about it. Are you sure? Like, what about you just like do the another exam, and then from there you're gonna see. And I said, well, but if I continue, like I'm at this point, I think it becomes more difficult to change. Yeah. So, and if I talk to people that didn't really know me, they all said, why don't you just do it? Like, you came so far, just do it. And society doesn't really see it. Like, especially if you talk in university, if you talk to lawyers, they would like look at strangely at you, like, why? This makes no sense. This is stupid.
I mean, I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine, that reaction always.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people do say, like, you know, you've wasted your time. You've had so much, you've put in so much effort. You had your blood, sweat, and tears in this, and now you're just giving up. It's just like, let's say, if your like your parents or your siblings or your cousins, they did medicine. Imagine how long that took them to get where they are, and then all of a sudden they say, no, I don't feel like it, which is understandable, but people don't really realize how, if you're not happy, you're not happy, and this is for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I also look at it from, you know, from this way as well, because the thing is sometimes what those people think is that, you know, one, you have good grades, so it means so they technically feel you're good at it, right? Sometimes you're just like studying and working your butt off just because you don't want to like fail, or because you want to come out with a specific kind of results, right? So what they take from that is that you're good at that, so it means you should continue doing it. Without thinking you might be good at something doesn't necessarily mean you like it as well, right? So I mean, it's a funny position to be at, because you're telling them, hey, I don't like this stuff, I wasn't happy, but they're like, well, you were doing so good and you had good grades, so, you know, why, if you don't like it, why were you doing so good? So that's the point where you have to tell them, okay, that was because of me as an ambitious person getting good grades at every point in time. So I totally understand where you're coming from and what angle, right? So I think my second question, another question I had was, after that was, would you say you found something, or you found a part, a different part that you like now, that is more exciting to you, and also more fulfilling in terms of, so when I mean fulfilling, I mean, you just, you being interested in it or keen in it as a career path, rather than as an ambitious part. So because those are two distinct things I would say. So because one, does it make you happy, or you just pushing towards it because you want to get it done and be ambitious about it? So would you say you found that part now where you're excited about it, and keep that interest flowing every time?
Well, I mean, I'm sad that I'm still on that journey, and I don't think that I've found the one thing that I really would like to do. I mean, for the rest of life, I think it's a huge thing to say for the rest of your life. I think you can still like adjust and see and change, but for me, it's like, I'm trying to follow the feeling of, okay, does it make me happy? And I mean, I took some time after I made that decision to also like spend time with myself to find out, okay, what do I really like, what I enjoy? So I kind of, okay, I feel like more I'm a creative person. I like to work with people in a team. So I'm really interested actually in business and in companies and how entrepreneurship works. So that's why I choose to go to a startup, because I feel like I want to get as much as experience now in the beginning, because I studied 5 years law. All my friends were from my law school, or they were actually medical students. So I was in this bubble for 5 years. I had no idea what is going on.
What
like
life
what is out there? Like, what opportunities do I have? So I need to find out. So that's actually my phase now I'm in. Like I'm just trying to figure out what do I like, where I want to go. And I think it's about experience and time that I know when I want to go.
I think I can relate to you on that topic, because it's like, we're at that age, we're 28, because I'm also 28, and it's...
Oh, twinsies, 28 twinsies.
To win. But I also have that, despite me being in the medical, I'm a nurse, and I also do see myself not being a nurse for the rest of my life, because it's fulfilling. Law is fulfilling, but there's so many things out there that people can see than just having something just so serious and paperwork, just having to see people being sick and stuff like that. And I feel like the challenging thing is that people are like, okay, you're 28 now, you should know what you should know. Like by now, you should be settled, and you should, so girl,
Yeah, no, finish.
No, I just want to say, like, it's take your time. There's just nothing better than knowing that you made this decision by yourself without having to, force yourself into something that you actually don't want to do,
Exactly. Yeah.
Good for you though.
Yeah, honestly, I sort of agree with what you say, right? So I don't think you should have figured everything out at 28, right? So I think there's still so much time and so much to decide about. So what people fail to understand is, you saying you haven't figured everything out doesn't mean you don't have what you're doing, or you don't have, source of income, or you don't have, your job that you do at that point in time.
But then people, sorry to break you up. But people do want you to have a certain career at a certain age. Like, I don't know if you agree with me. Like, people want you to be like, okay, you should be like done with what you want to do right now. This is it. This is what I'm going to do until I'm 65 or 67. It's 67 in Germany now, right?
Probably it's going to increase.
It's probably going to be 75.
It's going to increase. Unfortunately.
But people want you, like, even if you're still doing something, right? Like, people want you to be like, okay, this is it. Like, people.
But I find that ridiculous, though, to be honest, because again, if you ask me what I do, I'm going to tell you what I do, right? So what I'm doing currently, right? So if what I'm doing currently does not dictate what I'm going to do in 10 years or in 5 years, so I might decide, so of course right now, I'm into finance, right? In 5 years, I can be like, hey, I want to start my own business, and my business can be a wide range of industries. Like, there's so many things you can start business in. So it can be basically, you find someone who is into IT that want to create an app or software, and then you go into business together, and then you be an entrepreneur. So being an entrepreneur is different from being, working in finance, or being a doctor, or being a nurse. It's a totally different ball game entirely, because now you need to deal with all both the administrative stuff and the interpersonal relationship, being an employer and being an employee at the same time as well, because at the starting stage, you're busting your ass off, right? So that's a totally different ball game. So that's why, if people ask, I'm not able, or there's no way I can tell you or figure everything out. So, and I think, to be honest, I think most people, or maybe most people our age, understand this. From my perspective, from my experience so far, right? So the only thing people don't understand is when you say you're not doing anything and you don't know what to do. So then it's like,
that's a different thing.
Then you're like, yo, bro, come on. Come on, you have to be doing something right now, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's why I say I totally understand where you're coming from, of not reaching that not getting to somewhere where you find something that is really fulfilling to you, and where you say, okay, this is what I want to do for the next 20, 30 years, right? So, but that doesn't mean you don't try stuff and keep doing whatever you're doing, to like see how your career go and how you develop, as a person as well. Because maybe at some point I would want to be I would want to be an entrepreneur and start have a startup with a friend or a business, right? Or also by myself as well. Maybe at some point we'll be like, okay, our podcast is so good, let's fucking quit our day job and get into a podcast full time. So what would you say then? Would you say I want to focus on my day job if this is really good? Right. So at that point we follow a different trend, and as we grow we figure out like new stuff to do and everything.
Basically figuring it out. Do you feel like you've been able to make a lot of connections? And I think you did mention it before, but have you been able to network?
A lot.
Do you feel like in law you would have been able to network? In a different way, probably, right?
I really changed. Before everything was about law, and I just know people from law, And now I changed to a completely different bubble. Like it's crazy how your perspective changed and how your focus changed.
Yeah.
Now I just entered the startup world and I consume totally different content. I see totally different people, and I'm more aware of different people. And if I talk to my colleagues from university, if I would like tell them a name of someone, they would not know about it. So it's like crazy how it changes. And yes, I do network, and I met a lot of people already within like this 1 year. It's crazy. Like I really made good and really nice connections. So I'm just already really happy about it. And I just feel like if you continue, if you try, you will meet this maybe one person that says something that interests you. I mean, how can you find out what you like or what you want to do if you don't try it?
If you don't try
it doesn't help. If you're like, you can't just sit in your room and just think about it. Maybe some people are blessed. They know from the start what they want to do, so they pursue it. They just go the career. And I mean, I've been really jealous of my friends that knew they want to become a lawyer because they can go through it. I mean, it's still really hard, but they have like this target and this goal and they know where they want to be. And for me, it was like, I don't know, like I need to figure it out. So what I'm going to do, I will start somewhere and then from there I will go, and I will just trust that the right thing coming my way, I will work and I will like develop myself and meet the right people and eventually come at this point where I want to be.
Trusting the process,
exactly.
Right?
So this is, I mean, I would say this is a bit of a tricky question, right? I just want to know, right? Have you been happy with the process so far? So are you happy that you left law? And with the current process and current trajectory you're going through, so would you say you're more happier now? I mean, of course you're happier now, but would you say you're happy with it? Or, of course, you said you're still finding out, but even if you're still finding out what you want to do, but are you happy right now at this point in time with what you're doing?
I mean, I'm more happy.
Okay.
If I'm already satisfied or happy where I am right now, not really. Like I said, I'm still on that journey. I still trying to figure out. So the process is still difficult.
Yeah.
So there are some days where I just like think, okay, now I'm doubting myself. Is it really the right thing? And sometimes thinking about, should I have not just like continued and finished it, because then I'm not having the stress about thinking what I want to do. But I mean, you always have those days. But I would say yes, I'm definitely more happy and trying to figure it out, trying to go this process, and accepting that there are good days and sometimes days where I feel like, okay, this is tough, because you're looking at your friends from uni. There are probably now, some of them will soon finish the bar exam, so they are done, and then you look at them and say, wow, like they are come now that far, and you maybe not exactly happy, or you're a little bit impatient where you're at right now, but I need to give myself time, because like I said, like it's been 5 years of studying, and now I entered the world of working 1.5 years ago. So I'm just at the beginning. Like,
yeah, true.
Do you feel like you've done a lot of self-growth, self-development, and you figured out, oh gosh, I'm actually really good at doing this? Or is it just still a bit of a stagnant process? Because you still say that you're still figuring it out. But have you figured out who you are as a person?
I think I would say yes. Who I meant the person, yes. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to find my person over my job. So I would say in this area, I'm quite developed, that I know who I am and what I like, what I enjoy, where I have my strengths. So this is like something I'm sure about. Now, for me, it's okay, where can I like, which area would like just fit to me, which suits me, to my strengths. So yeah.
Good for you.
So interesting. Would you ever, so let's say, would you ever consider going back to law? Just just out of curiosity, I mean, so I'm just asking this out of curiosity, right? Yeah. So would you ever consider going back to law and being a lawyer at any point in time?
I mean, I don't think so, but I can't really say what time brings. I mean, it could happen. For example, if there is something that I would like to do, what I realize I want to do, and I need the bar exam for it. I mean, obviously there are also other ways or other jobs that are out there that you don't like, not just become a lawyer. So if I feel like, okay, I want to go there, I could go back and just do it. But I know I would not enjoy it. But if there is a bigger target behind, I would do it. But I don't think so, no.
I think so.
What would be the case though? Like if you've done your 5 years, right? And if you were to decide to go back to law, what are the further procedures? What's the next step for you to then become law? Just asking for a friend. So, would you have to go back to university and do your what is it?
No, it's not really university. Like you continue to study, but you practice at the same time. So you are working, for example, in a law firm, you're working at a court. So you actually practicing what you studied before, but at the same time, you need to study and prepare for the bar exam.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, before you write the bar exam, it's kind of like a doctor practicing, being, is it apprenticeship? There's something doctors do.
Also,
exactly. So it's something to be,
a practice.
Exactly. So it's like doing that before you become a full lawyer, and then you write the bar exam. So that's like preparing you to write the bar exam, and then you write the bar exam, and then you are a lawyer afterwards.
Okay, cool. I was actually just curious. I was just like, I was thinking because we watch Suits and stuff like that, and I'm always just like really curious about law and the fact that you told me it is interesting here and there.
Yeah,
but I was expecting you to be like, because you're defending someone who did some terrible crime in that type of law, like let's say criminal law, for example. You're defending someone that did something so wicked to someone. How do you feel about that as a person?
I actually think the defender is one of the most important jobs in law.
Really?
Defense attorney,
because what about those innocent people?
Yeah.
Who's going to defend them? Like, just look at the case. Someone is
on death row or something for not killing someone.
Exactly. Then he will send to prison and he did not do anything. So you need these people also to keep the balance so that there is not injustice happening. But yeah, of course, it's difficult, I think, to work in that area. But I think it's also really interesting. Like, you really work with people, and I mean, it's not that you're trying to get them out of prison. You just fighting for the right. How is it? Panel? I'm looking for the word. If you,
I mean, so you're just fighting for the person's rights, so they know if they're innocent
justice,
or not.
I guess.
Justice,
yeah.
Okay.
So that they weren't punished for because. Okay, no, I'm missing the English words now.
It's fine.
I know what to say, but I don't know.
No, it's fine.
I'm missing the English words now.
Okay. So they don't get punished, punished for what they did, for crimes they did not commit, basically. So it's fine. Also, you can tell us the German word as well.
Yeah, what is the German word?
And then we can translate.
Or maybe say it in German. That would be really cool.
So everything in German now, just the word,
what you're trying to say.
Just that specific sentence, like the sentence you're trying to say.
I mean, no, what I'm trying to say is that defender is there to assure that no one gets too many years for something he commit. So it's more because if he get if he's sued. Or for something, then obviously they say, okay, it's 15, 20 years, for example, and then it might be too much, too harsh. Like,
too harsh.
Because so the defender is there to put it into the right place. Say, okay, is this really fair for him? Like, is this maybe not too much? Because I mean, there are always feelings involved.
True.
So you see this, okay, he killed that person. So you get like, you're feeling something and you want to have this person gone to prison. So we have a system, and the system needs to be protected, which is mostly happening by the defenders, because they are making sure that the law is like is used in the correct way.
In the correct way.
Oh gosh, I would feel. I don't know. I'm. My emotions get the best of me sometimes. So I would think, like, imagine trying to defend someone who is not innocent. It's clearly there, and you have to defend this person. How emotionally draining is that?
But I mean, the thing is, you're not defending him for that he should not be punished. You're defending him for that he gets the right punishment that is fair. So that that the system is not abused to just punish people in like,
See, I think that now you made sense. That's what people need to understand about law, is that you're defending someone to still, even if they're not innocent or if they're not proven innocent, you're defending someone. Wait. You're defending someone to not get the harsh punishment, but to still suffer the consequences.
I mean, of course, you're trying to get the best out of, like, you guess, try to get the best out of your client.
Basically negotiating.
Wait. Sorry. So I think that's a bit more complex, right? That's a bit more complex. I think it's something we can discuss some other time, right? Because if we go down that rabbit hole, it's going to be like a very long conversation. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if there's a lot of reason why we do not like
kind of going off topic, sorry.
Certain people, because now we're drifting off topic.
Sorry.
Right? So exactly, it's what I'm trying to avoid. So at the end of the day, it's all about, like, it's all about the defendants and the defense attorney to basically talk about what direction they want the case to go to, because I think no one would like to go to jail or be punished even if they do something wrong, right? Because just a few people, but not like everyone would want to get away with it, and that depends on them to talk with their lawyer to say, okay, argue that I don't get any punishment at all, or negotiate for me to get the least amount of punishment, at the end of the day. Okay. So cool. That's it, because also there are people who've gone away with doing crime, so it's because they have a very good lawyer to be able to go to get away with it as well.
Thanks for clarifying.
So let's just leave it at that. And I just conclude on the topic. So I would say for you, Nina, so as someone who has changed careers, I would say, that's very, that's very courageous, to be honest, from my perspective. I think that's pretty unique, because sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's coming from an African home, right? But sometimes when you decide to do something, like if people are like, always do course that is very, very good, that you're going to be able to make financial resources from. Of course, I think you can make financial benefits from everything, just depending on how you as a person is doing it. So sometimes a lot of people don't have that courage or are too scared to switch, right? So now they want to know from your perspective, what would be your advice to them, on how to, get over that line, or cross that red tape of switching entirely. Yeah.
So first of all, I know that most of the listeners are expats. So at this thing, at this point, I know I'm aware of that they are facing unique challenges due to visa and other restrictions. that of course a German citizen does not. And so it's easier for me as a German citizen to change career, obviously. So I can't really say how it is to be in shoes of an expat, how it is to change career. However, what I can say from my experience and my perspective is that I strongly believe it's always worth it to fight for something that truly makes you happy. So what helped me in this time when I made the decision, I mean, I've been really isolated and I didn't receive much understanding. So what helped me is to find that one person that really supports and encourages you, maybe inspires you. So for me, it was a friend that dropped out of uni, out of her master program, and she pursued a different career. And I really felt like, okay, she's my inspiration. Even though she didn't study law, it's not in the same shoes, because I did not find that one person that literally went through law school and changed the career. I did not find anyone. I was really alone. And this is what made it so hard, because I felt, okay, I feel like I'm the only person that's doing it. So I did not have those people. So this friend literally helped me to get through this time. So what I would advise is look for that one person in your cycle that would really be there for you and is supporting you, or seek for someone that actually went through that path. So if you're an expert and you maybe reach out on networks to find someone that already did it, they really can support you. And I think this is what helps, because on your own it's really hard. You need at least one person. If it's just one person that's there and supports you and is encouraging you, then this is what really helped me in this case.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sounds great. Yeah, I think we all need everyone then.
Yeah, it's inspiring. I feel like, just in case people want to change careers, just go. But I think go for it.
I think you did partially, right? I mean, when you came to Germany initially, you weren't, you weren't a nurse. You studied something else entirely.
No,
and then you studied,
No. I came to Germany and I didn't study anything. I just came as an au pair because I wanted to learn the language.
Okay.
But then when I was back home, I did do something else, for a semester. So I was just nah, it's not my thing. Exactly.
So I get.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about it as well. So Thanks for the advice.
Oh, you think I'm switching from a nurse to something else?
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I don't want to be a nurse for the rest of my life.
Yeah, tell me, let's dig in. I want to dig into you guys' perspective. So what do you want to do? I think Nina's explained what she wanted, what she wants to do. She's something exciting, something creative, something into the entrepreneurial space and all of that, which is what she's doing now. Basically, but tell me, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I feel like creativity is always something that's always really good because it does refresh your mind. Your brain remains really open. This whole system of having to go to work, you get your handover from the other nurses, and then you have the same routine. And people do that for 20, 30, 40 years.
So
I realize how... I look at the nurses that are 50 years old and I see how, I wouldn't say miserable, I just see how overworked they are. They're very overworked and they don't seem happy. It's because that's all they've done. That's all they've known. And I feel like they don't, when I tell them, I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing photo shoots, I'm doing this and that, they'll be like, oh, you're doing photo shoots. It's because that's the only thing that they know. But I want to go into something that's creativity, showbiz, being in front of the camera, being behind the camera, doing content and stuff like that, events, things that people make people happy, right? It's refreshing. I'm happy when I'm here. I'm also happy when I'm doing my job. But however, constantly seeing people sick all the time is
so I guess I'm the only boring one here who also remain in finance, basically. No.
Yeah, if it's your passion, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
I think I find mine interesting, to be honest, because again, I also find other ways to add a bit of spice to my life personally.
Yeah, if you're going clubbing every Saturday, I mean, that's fine.
No, that wasn't what I was trying to say. But I mean, thanks for stating that. I was trying to bring in the podcast, and that's why I'm doing the podcast, is why to put in some spice. But I guess it's out there now. We can put the genie back in the box. But again, right? So so for me, to be honest, I find my personally fulfilling. It's also why I already know, or I mentally know, I'm not defined by my job or by my career, right? It's just that's my ambition, ambitious personality and aspects, right? And also how I make a living for now as well. So that's why I do it, because I find it interesting. That's work, and then when I also have private life and also do other stuff on the side as well. Those are the stuff that give me different sort of experiences and different sort of excitements. At the end of the day. So that's just me. But I mean, for me, the bottom line is to just be in finance, then be an entrepreneur, own a business. Mostly going to be, even if I own a business, because I would focus on, again, it's going to be a lot of spreadsheets and all of that, right? So of course I'm also good at interpersonal relationship, like in person, but example, like sending emails or being in a Teams meeting is not my kind of thing. I'm always like ever present kind of person, and that's basically it. So even if I go and pursue my my idea of being an entrepreneur, being in business at the same time, it's also going to be uniquely related to, again, what I do in finance, which is basically looking at a spreadsheet, checking growth, checking analysis, budgeting, and all of that aspect as well. So, and then of course the other part of me, which is also the extrovert part, which is also like interpersonal relationship, like motivating people and all of that as well in between. But but generally, I think I already in a trait that I appreciate as well. That's just what I'm saying. So that's it.
Awesome.
Or maybe it's just because I'm 50. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, because you totally look 50. Oh my gosh, this has been insightful. It's been very learning. I guess there's this thing that they say in German. I'm just going to say it in English. They always say we learn things every day, right? And it's good to know that there are people going through some sort of challenges. Everybody goes through something. You're going through your own challenges, and your challenge was becoming something that you didn't study, which I find very, like I said, insightful. And I'm grateful that I actually get to be on this podcast, because I learn a lot of things from people, which is very good. But is there anything that you want to say before we leave and close up, or?
No, just thanks for having me here. Like I really enjoyed this conversation, and I enjoy talking about it, because I feel like we have to put more awareness about this topic, because I feel that a lot of people like struggling, and it took me a long time to also talk about it, to find that encouragement, because a long time I was a little bit ashamed of it, to be honest. I felt ashamed to study something that I not pursue. So it really took me time to process that. And what I found out, if I started to talk, like, there are people reaching out to me and say, we are so glad that you talked about it. I started to talk about it on LinkedIn one time. It was crazy, the response. So I just felt like, okay, I realized there are a lot of people actually also in law, that there are more people who made the same decision as me. So they reached out to me and saying, thank you that you were talking about it, because we feel alone, as no one understands us and no one wants to support us and try to push us to just go through the whole process and become a lawyer. So I think it's important to talk about it, and everyone just like share a little bit more of their own challenges to not to be on your own there.
Well, I'm really glad you were able to share that with us, basically, because I think it's also unique. A unique aspect. People are also, I wouldn't say suffering, but also like juggling in the daily life as well, and within themselves, if to switch or not. And then they've never really. I hope this conversation help them discover that aspect and be able to make that decision as well. Because again, it can be done. You've done it. You're still progressing. Nothing got ruined basically. And all. So that's why we're glad you're able to, have that conversation with us basically.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Nina. Guys, we have to end the topic now and end the podcast. But thank you guys for joining us. Do you have social media, or do you want people to follow you on the socials? People will be like, follow me.
I mean, I have social media, but I'm not really like putting anything or following.
Because there's some people like, guys,
maybe on LinkedIn.
Maybe on LinkedIn.
Maybe on LinkedIn, right? Yeah, but again, guys, don't remember, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share, both on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. I think that's basically it, right?
Yeah.
So please remember to like and share and follow. Fortunately Nina does not want to be followed. But interesting. But so follow our channel and Alice wants to be followed as well. So you can follow.
I'm good. Please stop. Stop. I'm joking. No, but guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for another one.
We're going to see you on the next topic from my family and my guest and my. Why am I saying family? Sorry.
I think you're referring to me as a family member.
Yeah, maybe
so from our Onlyfacts family.
Yeah, Onlyfacts family and our Onlyfacts guest and our soon-to-be family member. We are gonna call it
a day.
A day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.